SoFi continues to trend within the 2073 and 2242 range, but we have gotten a clear break of this descending resistance. Broken over that, we couldn't get a volatile move out, but now we are using that as support and trending right to the ceiling of that 2242. So should we expect a break with the buyers having a volatile, aggressive move out? As we start to get tighter here on the hourly, the daily shows that we've been within this range for quite some time, right? Getting that top of 25, that breakout, but coming back down, holding strongly at that support level, and now trending back up. Starting this analysis on the weekly time frame, guys, we see that we were in a very long cup and handle pattern. Create this handle, get that shut down to a 52, and we have a very nice overextended run up. By far the strongest price action that we've ever seen on SoFi. And we've been led to a very interesting point, right back to this $25 level, where we've been covering our past SoFi videos after we IPO'd and got that all-time high of 28.26. Came back down, tested that 25, couldn't get above it. Wick there, came back down, and once again tested right around that range. And then we got down, pushed further down to this consolidation / chop range, where price wasn't doing all too much for over 2.5 years. And we find a little bit of an energy building phase, leading us to the right side of that cup. And then that's where the handle is created and this overextended run up starts. So yes, we did wick off that $25 level, kind of repeating price history, but this time we don't get shut down hard after that, taking the drawings off. See that we kind of hold within this range, and just like last time, guys, long time ago, but after we got the rejection, you see buyers try to step back in. They come up lower and then they get shut down. But will this time be different? I think it will be, guys, given that a pullback's always in the question, right? We are very overextended here. We could have a slighter pullback and a retest, right? Kind of creating a smaller pullback to around that $18 level being the top of that neckline area, and the top of this descending pattern that we got into at that range or around that range definitely isn't out of the question. But I do think we look good for the buyers as we trend to the shorter time frames. Right on the daily chart, we see we got up to the zone of 2073 and 2242, and this has been a very prominent zone. After a nice breakout of this descending range stemming from that 1845, we chop around, very volatile, right? Lots of back and forth. And when we get a rejection, we get a hard rejection. But when we find support, we have a nice buyer movement up very aggressively. And this goes on for some time, really leading us down to that bottom of 852. That's where you see a slight shift in momentum. So again, volatile swing up, but instead of crashing down to the floor like we've seen this entire time, big move up, big crash down, big move up, big crash down. Instead, we see a smaller retracement and another attempt up. Not a very volatile one. We kind of trend on this ascending support here, and then we kind of bleed back down within this descending resistance range, and then we go ahead and kind of bleed out of that. No extremely volatile move out. We just kind of bleed around and hang around in this zone of 1328 and 1390 for several days before we get that nice leg up. It's definitely a bit of a battle to get above that 1480, that being a pretty stubborn resistance in the past, kind of creating this hard resistance here. Couldn't get above it. Came up back again. Tested that after trying to break out of this range. Couldn't get above it, but that's where we hold tighter and we don't get pushed down aggressively. And then once you see a very nice green wide bar up, sellers try to find their move down, but shows that buyers are staying in this game. They're finding these past resistance zones, right? That 1390 being one of them, and creating support out of those and then trending higher and higher. Once we fully get out of that long-term descending range and buyers solidify that they are the winner in this fight, we see a very, very nice movement to the upside. And once we get that break, guys, we have a very nice run up, about a 70% run up on stock to that $25 level, that being that previous tough resistance that we saw in the past. But instead of getting shut down super volatile, we do get shut down quite aggressively, but we do hold at this support, which has been an extremely strong support. The 2073 has held up super good for the buyers, guys. Once we get above that, kind of chop around within the range of that 2242 and 2073. After around a week or so of chopping within that range, we see that sellers try to get their movement down after 2 consecutive red days in a row. They try to push us under that range, but right away buyers buy it up. See that long lower wick, meaning there's a lot of buying pressure. Followed by that, sellers regain that control, pushing us to the floor, but once again try to get that break, and then we get a gap up effect all the way to that 2511. Volatility really presses in here as we get that very aggressive move up, but then we quickly correct. Once again, buyers step in when they have to step in. You see that sellers try to gain that momentum from that big shutdown after trying to get past that level and bring us further down. Does not work out for the sellers, and buyers step in right when they have to. And then we hit this kind of resistance point. So we're kind of creating a resistance descending, but once again, find that support level. So we're finding the support level countless times and we're trending back up. So now in a bit tighter fashion, we kind of get that retest of that ceiling, looking to break that once again. So just like here, the sellers are looking for a movement down and the buyers are looking for a break. So it could go either way, but I like that we've continued to hold that 2073 support. Every retest has been a lot more in control with the buyers. We see that first sell off, big lower wick. Second time, smaller wick. Next time, smaller wick. And the next time, can't push below that level. So very nice progressive price action is what we're seeing here. And now we're using this, better view on the hourly real quick. This past resistance, as we see a very obvious kind of resistance zone, turned now into support on the hourly in the most recent price action. So really like what I'm seeing here, guys. We stand bullish on SoFi. We continue to have a price target and break of $25, and then that would lead us to those all-time highs of 28. I really do think it's probable we get a retest of that 25 as the supporters continue to hold up very nicely and buyers continue to stay in this game, really chopping around after a big overextended movement up instead of getting pushed back down. And even after that rejection, they couldn't push us back down, right? Anything is possible. Getting a pullback is probable. As long as we're in this range of 2242 and 2073, the short term is quite neutral, right? We don't know. But in the very short price action, it's nice to see that we're using that resistance as support. And we trend up very nicely from that past shutdown, with each time getting shut down being a little less aggressive from the sellers. If we did get a pullback, sellers would definitely have to try to break that 2073 and then ultimately right that further 1970 to 1950-ish level. But really like what I'm seeing here, guys. I think the buyers are going to get that retest. We've broken that descending range, trending to the hourly now, right? We've broken that range. And what we were saying in the past video is that we could find ourselves in a descending resistance range. So yeah, if we rejected here, it wouldn't look that great for the buyers as we're getting smaller moves up each time, right? Get that 25 move up, come down, get a shorter move up to around that 2376. Now, the analysis would still stand if this was the top here, right? If we really find that resistance here and get pushed back down, wouldn't be the best sign for the buyers, but that support has proven over and over again that it will hold. So even if we get pushed down here, I think this support will hold once more and give us that extra opportunity to try to get up there. But I do like how we're looking here, right? Breaking that resistance that we have and then using that as support. And now I think we are headed for another retest. We see we try to break that, sellers step in, try to break that, sellers step in. But I definitely do think that we have another retest in us here and a possible break. If volume can really slam in here, guys, I think we could be seeing a very aggressive buyer move up. Unless the overall market, especially with tech, really plummets, right? I think that SoFi looks good here and we won't get the pullback just yet. If we break this and retest around that 25 and find another very hard rejection or right around that range, then yes, possibly a pullback would make sense there, right? As in the past price action, trending back to the weekly here, every single time, right? This is a long time ago, but it's good to look at past history and what the stock did in the past. We've gotten that move up, gotten a shorter move up, and kind of what we're seeing here, a little bit of a different price action approach, but we've gotten that move up to 25 back in this consolidation range. So if we did get pushed up again and how lower, could be seeing the retest of that support. And then if that can hold, could be seeing that smaller pullback and try to regain that momentum once again, probably around that 1870 level. But I like what I'm seeing here, guys. We remain bullish with the price target of 25 and the overall price target of all-time highs. I don't think it's out of the question that we do hit all-time highs on this run-up before pulling back. And my bullish stance still stands unless there's some very drastic news for one. If something fundamentally brings the stock down, like news or the overall market's getting crushed, can't really measure that. But from a TA perspective and what we can see here and how nicely we've held up, guys, definitely like what I'm seeing, and we do remain bullish. So let me know your price predictions in the comments below, guys, and let me know if you want me to continue to cover SoFi. If you guys do, make sure you like and subscribe. That's all I got for you guys today. As always, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.